You just turned on. You just naturally on the wave. You just naturally on the wave. Better known as now. This is where independence is celebrated. And if you're ready to catch these waves, then let's go.
When it's a theme, I seen part of Jada, I just wanna scream, yeah. My family is shy, we chill at the lake, or post by the bean. Got that grill on, gold on me, on my DJ.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy back again in the building with the Naturally on the Wave segment. It's the Grown Up Podcast. You already know we talk about that grown up shit and I sprinkle that independent music for you. But today we got the interview and I have a reoccurring artist coming back, but I have a brand new artist joining us today as well. It's going to be a poppin' interview episode, all of that. We finna take off with this and I'm so excited. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining me. So today I have the brand new artist, hip hop lyricist and actress, Miriam A. Hyman, aka Robynhood, and
What's
my big
good?
Yes, he is my real bro, East-O, back in the building. What's up, bro? How you doing?
He's my bro too. I'm taking it from
Everybody's
you.
bro.
Everybody, you get a bro. You get a
Universal
bro.
now.
Universal.
I'm so excited. Thank you guys for joining me here on the podcast. I appreciate it. And let's get to it. So how about you guys introduce yourselves to the audience? Tell us, how long you guys been doing music, everything like that, and get us started here.
Sounds good. So East, if it's cool with you, I'll pop right in.
Please.
So yeah, as you already, so wonderfully introduced me, as Miriam A. Hyman, aka Robynhood. I'm a hip hop lyricist as well as an actress. And I started doing music in, I would say, 2013. It was like shortly after I came out of graduate school. I was just in a position where I was like working on a show, but then I also had like a lot of free time and I was working on a Shakespeare play. So I was just really motivated, just in terms of like words, and themes and so on and so forth. And, being in New York, you can't have an idle mind, you gotta have your hands in multiple things, and
Definitely.
so I started like downloading like industry beats, from like Just Blaze, Swiss Beats, people who were making like really dope beats and everything. And I started connecting with East, like this was before he was East-O. This was just Miriam and Chris. This wasn't even Robynhood and East-O. Like, but I would reach out to him. Like I had this little apartment, it wasn't even an apartment. I had a room in an apartment, that I was renting.
Got it.
Little futon
like
chair.
That. Yeah.
And the bars would just start coming to me. Like I just allowed myself to be open to my surroundings and be very present. Yeah. And the lyricism was starting to like pour in. So I would write a line or two and then like send it to him and then he would respond and write a line or two. I mean, it was really beautiful and just kind of genuine how this relationship formed, because it wasn't about that when we first met. Like I met him, I was at Yale in my first year of graduate school and he was like auditioning for the program. And I just met him because he was a, potentially incoming student.
Yeah. I
hosted the parties. Next thing you know, we on the dance floor, like, rocking. Yeah. And honestly, it was love, ever since, you know what I mean? So you talk about like ride or die, we ain't trying to kill no more black men and stuff like that. But that's my guy 100%, yo. So
that's dope. Yeah, he gave us a little background story of how you guys met in the first interview that I did with him, and that was exciting. So it's great to hear your side now, how the dynamic was playing back and forth. So
it was truthful, right?
Very, very truthful. Okay. Right around the same storyline. It's crazy.
No cap.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
know, right? Take us through how you guys were feeling at that moment of trying to start this independent path when you started getting the lyrics going in your head and you guys started training back and forth. How were you guys feeling like at that time?
East, you want to chime in there?
Yeah, we wasn't really feeling. It wasn't on some like get famous type shit or like, oh man, we gonna be the next hot da 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 da. It was off of just like the love of like, trying to come up with like a bar, trying to come up with like, and it was crazy. I mean, I remember like getting a message from Hood just being like, yo, like the bars keep coming out. I got choruses, I got verses, I got bridges, I got like what you need. I was like, okay, cool. It's like shit. It went from like a 16 to like a 34 to like, oh, you actually have like songs. So then it was more just like, how do we keep it going? How do we keep building it? It wasn't about like, trying to get on anybody's radar, but like, oh, this seems like it feels right. Like let's see what we can really do with it, because it's obvious that we both love this craft, and like we're both really competent at like the things that we know how to do in this craft. So let's like put it together. And it was organic.
Yeah,
that's dope. You want to add anything to that? He said it so beautifully.
Yeah, he did. He just said it so eloquently, and that's one of the things that I've always appreciated about East is him having an extensive vocabulary. I vibe with the smart ones. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I love just individuals who are constantly trying to elevate. And he does that in a myriad of ways. Yeah. So he's truly inspiring, hella motivating, all of the music, like lyrically, a lot of what I've been writing is inspired a lot of times, not only by me being present in my surroundings, but by his beats, and I'm a dancer, as well. And so I can immediately move to it. And when I can move to it, I can groove to it.
Yeah.
But when
I do the same thing when I hear his beats. Yeah.
Right. See, so it's not just me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's that type of a thing. And even how I'd love for you to talk about that a little bit, East, about how you decided to like start working on these beats. All I will say is I'm super thankful and appreciative that he did, because it's hard to come across, I think, producers who they get you right off the bat. You're really vibing with them. And I'm not saying like every single beat that he has sent, I've fallen in love with. That would be dishonest. However, what is honest is his commitment to creating this material, him believing in himself that he could create this material, and him just going ahead and doing it. And like what we have been doing is constantly just perfecting the sound, without trying to perfect the sound. We're just, being adamant and just honing our skills and everything. So, but please, East, tell them how you got to be. Tell them how you became East-O,
I mean, like one of the things I get asked, or one of the things, like the question I like a lot, that people ask, like, oh, well, if you weren't like an actor or whatever, like, what would you want to do in a different life?
Right.
And I always thought I wanted to be a composer. So I want to be, because I grew up listening to like all kind of music, but like I really grew up listening to a lot of classical music, like a lot of Bach.
No, let me just chime in here real quick. This is why I fucks with these, because like when I'm on my way to set and stuff, a lot of people, they vibe out to different types of music, and I love listening to classical music. Like it just puts me in a very specific frame of mind. I'm like, you know what I mean? I could be listening to, you know what I mean?
Wild.
Like, the baby, but let me get some Beethoven. You know what I mean? Like, I just had to chime in. Go ahead, East. Go ahead.
Like, same thing. I mean, when I be taking the bus, the BART train back and forth from East Oakland to El Cerrito to go to high school, I was bumping Mozart. I was bumping like, the Marriage of Figaro and stuff like that, just to like calm me down, to like the screen portion. So I think my
niggas is about to be like the what the hell?
My ear from a young age is trained to listen to the music. Like, oh, there's horns. Oh, there's strings. Oh, is that a cello? Oh shit, is that a lute? Oh, is that an oboe? Oh, is that a bass? Like the more full it is, the more like textures you get. And just, to sort of weave it around, but I'm gonna bring it all back, cyclical. David Grohl talks about he's drummer and for Kurt Cobain and Nirvana, and now he's the lead guitarist of the Foo Fighters and stuff like that. And he's always just about like when you make music, like the first time as a musician, when you can get it right all the way through, when you can play a drum groove for a full 3 minutes with somebody else singing or rocking on top of it. When I found the beat, Black Alicious for Hood, one of the times I remember finding this beat for her on YouTube, and I remember when like she rapped through it perfectly. And in that Black Alicious beat, he started, analytically, I saw animating, you got to speed up as the beat speeds up. And I remember she nailed that shit perfectly, and I was like, I gotta add to this. I need to add. Like we gotta perfect this sound. Now I wanna be responsible for like elevating this lyricist. I want to be responsible for like elevating this sound, because like once you witness something of like that star caliber, it's like you wasn't with us shooting in the gym. You wasn't with us like we were recording. Like that's where the magic is, in that gritty shit. Where you like, oh, we got something. We got something. Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's a feeling that I always wanted to capture. So she went off to Philly for a little bit and made the mixtape. And then came back, that was Journey of an MC, then came back with the first EP for Hire with Erica Hicks and all these great producers on it. And I remember listening to that first EP and just being like, I can do this. Yeah. And like more than that, like I can add something that these other producers can't add. And I don't know how to do that yet, but I know that if I just stick it out and keep doing it, I'm gonna make some magic happen. And so I made the first beat, and I remember I sent it to Hood, and it was bad. Like I'm not even going front. Like it was bad. It's my first beat, and I remember she was listening to it. She's like, "Okay, all right, let's just break it down one by one. Let me tell you what I do like about it." And then it was like, "Okay, you stick with this. I like this thing. Keep going in that direction." And then after that, it was all just trial and error. Okay, listen to this one. Okay, cool, I like this one. Okay, listen to this one. Okay, cool, I like this one. And then after Miss Michael Myers and Black Power, that's when it was like, okay, we found like the kernel that we can really start, massaging into diamonds.
Yeah. I love the dynamic of you two, like feeding off of each other and understanding that there's potential in both of you and both of you putting in the effort. Like, it's kind of like, the bigger producers, the mainstream producers that get big and then they find an artist that, they put their time into, and actually both of them put their time into together, and you get to see it on an independent level and how you guys are doing it. So I really commend you guys, both of you. I tell him all the time I'm proud of him, and I'm proud of you too, because you're my family now too. So,
Appreciate it.
Choosing the independent path is difficult because we are independent. We have to put in everything ourselves. So how has it been traveling this independent path, and what has been the biggest obstacle that you guys have noticed that you have had to get past?
I'll chime in here. So I would have to say probably realizing that as independent artists, not seeing that as a negative, but seeing that as a positive, and realizing, at the end of the day, we can really do whatever we want. We could do whatever we want, and we could do it however we want. So it's like the other day somebody was commenting on, we got these leather jackets, that say True Teller Productions on the back and our names on the front.
I need one.
Yeah. And so this girl was like, I need a jacket. Like, that's so dope, and it's little stuff like that. Like, we don't have to wait for somebody to approve a budget so that we can get these jackets, or we're not waiting for, some kind of upfront money to go and, get them girl. Like, we can go and do what we want to do, however we want to do it, and build our brand and present ourselves the way that we want to. And we work with mainstream artists. I mean, just in the last couple of years, I did a track with David Diggs, who's still, I guess, not necessarily like mainstream, but he has a Grammy, you know what I mean? And a Tony.
Gotta put that in there.
Right. I did a verse for Lupita Nyong'o, who's a good friend of mine, on a Sierra track, another, Grammy artist, you know what I mean? And that was with Esther Dean and City Girls, and with Lala, who's also on the shot with me. And then more recently, I did a track with Common, and that was put together by a gentleman named Jonas Burbine, who produced a couple of tracks on my first EP, as East, mentioned, for Hire. Yeah. So And that's a Philly dude, you know, so it's like he said, cyclical, you know, it's like we're bringing it right back, you know, and I'm still getting the opportunity to work with these artists. You know, I was in the studio with Iman Schubert, you know what I mean, like a couple of weeks ago, just on some like,
you keep naming,
you know, he heard a couple of
sweats here.
he heard some of the music, and he's also on the Shy now. He was showing me love. He's like, you know, swing by the studio, whatever. I was inspired, you know, by him and what he was coming up with. And I just love to see artists, you know, like in their, you know, environment where they can just create and like be themselves, and you see what beauty can come from that, you know. So we'll see. I mean, I'm rocking and I'm building, you know. East and I were getting, you know, song placements on shows and stuff, you know.
Y'all getting big on me. Woo!
So it's been a journey, you know what I mean? And our first project that we actually put out together, aside from the singles that he had mentioned, which were like Black Power, then I had put out an EP called Truth Teller. And so he was on that track. He had produced a track, and then he was featured on it. He produced my track called Lab Rats, but he was on a track called No Smoke that a company called Velocity Music had produced. So it was a nice way to kind of introduce him in that way, because he did, you know, and it was just like a nice introduction for him with this EP. And then it was like Alter Ego, he produced every single joint, and then it was like, boom, you know, the fourth quarter produced, you know, every single joint. So your boy's on fire.
Seriously, he's heating
like,
up.
where's my
I'm
lighter
glad
at?
you just kind of rolled that out, because that's actually my next thing that I'm going to get to. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
You see the insignias? I didn't know he was going to pull that lighter out. I'm like in this bitch reaching for mine. I come back.
Wait a minute. I'm a little late, but I'm here.
See, here we go. Come on, put your lighters up. Put your light. Here we go. Hey.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
I love that. I love that. I'm glad you laid that out, because my next thing we're going to talk about is your latest EP, The Fourth Quarter, which was produced and everything. You guys just put this out. So take us through the production process with this EP. How did you guys coordinate studio time? Because as you mentioned, you are an actress, you're in a show, so you got big things going on. So tell us about, work us through that process.
Well, so we had talked a couple of months before I started shooting The Shy. I went out to Chicago in January. And so prior to that, we were just talking about, you know, what was the next project going to be? And I figured, well, you know what? I'm going to be in Chicago. I had to kind of be a hermit a little bit because of, you know, quarantining and COVID and so on and so forth. So I said, well, this will be a perfect time for me to really work on a lot of the tracks that he was already sending me. Right. And so I had decided, like, okay, we're going to do another EP, because I had mentioned in the last EP, I dropped these EPs quarterly, here for the track like orderly. Right. And I'm going to flood this bitch like, no, okay, I'm not going to. I'm not going to
stream it and check it out. You'll know.
I get hype. But anyway, so with me saying that, one of the things that we always talk about is speaking things into existence. And like, if I say it, trust me, bro, it's happening. You feel me?
Yeah.
And it's just because it's nothing but the grace of God. Like, I'm not a wizard, I'm not a magician or anything like that, but I just trust and believe, you know, that it's possible. Mm-hmm. And so if you have, you know, the faith of a mustard seed, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so with that being said, I had these 5 months, which is crazy because it ended up being, you know, 5 tracks. And then, you know, East, we had shot a video, which is going to be dropping very, very soon, you know, called Penthouse. So that's the last track that's on the EP. You know, he came out to Chicago. We worked on some of the music. We shot that video, you know, and I continued even when he wasn't there to be in the studio at Spaceship Chicago. You know, they really welcomed us and just gave us a studio home and banged it out. And then when I would have little breaks, I would come to LA, and then I recorded a couple of joints in LA, you know, as well. But the majority of it, you know, I was writing and kind of crafting and creating while I was in Chicago during my off time when I wasn't, you know, on set shooting. So, yeah.
Did you guys have like a specific theme to this EP? Because I feel like it was just, you just came in hard. You just trying to put a stamp right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I loved it. I loved the whole EP. It was dope. So
isn't it funny that he mentioned a stamp? How we got the stamp on the card? You know, you feel me? So within our professions as even actors, you know, we've been stamped in terms of our education. Mm-hmm. So we both went to top programs. You know, I'm stamped, you know, Yale. He's stamped NYU. Yeah. So I think we already understand that even from where we come from and what we've been through, we got to put our stamp on things. Right. You know, and we have to make a statement with the product that we produce. You know what I'm saying? We stand by our product. You feel me? So with that being said, you know, I think it's just always a matter of us. I like to say keeping it hot, you know, HOT, honest, open, and truthful with one another. If he's not feeling something, he speaks his truth. If I'm not feeling something, I speak my truth. And so with the fourth quarter, it's crazy that the track in the whole EP is 12 minutes, you know, because it's literally like, this is the fourth EP. It was the fourth season of The Chi. So here we go with the 444, you know, and just kind of what that means, you know, how things are like coming up. And then my cousin, who lives in Chicago, we did a track with him called Philly the Chi. He sent me this beat and it was fire. Like, I didn't know what it was gonna be. And my cousin would always come into the studio with me, you know, as well, being a, you know, up and coming Chicago artist. And it was great because I'm like, I got family in the Chi, like, come rock with me in, you know, in the studio. Yeah. And I let him hear the beat and he was like, Robyn, look. Yeah, me and Robynhood in each other's hoods trying to be chased. Driving crazy out through the streets, high street check. Going, you know, like I was like, come on, cousin, you know. So he was feeling it, and it wasn't like, oh, it's a masterpiece right now, but he was feeling it, and he dances too. So I feel like you can't go wrong when you have a track that you can move to. It's like, oh, we finna rock up in this bit, you know. And so I said, I'm gonna jump on this verse with you. And then I forget who suggested, it might have been East, because he's the one with all the great ideas. Like, to have the hook, we split the hook between the two of us. You know, we had decided to do that, but then it was to have the verses back to back and then have the hook at the end. So again, it just goes back to being independent, and we can do whatever we want. We can create our own formula, our own format. Like, we designed the blueprint. It's our shit. It's not somebody saying, this is what it's going to be, and you got to come in here and do this, and then she has to come in here and go like this, and then you got to wear and spin the fuck around. You know, no. We do what we want to do. We support the brands that we want to support, as I'm, you know, supporting my cousin's brand, Hollywoodish, right now. You know what I mean? Plays in the NFL. And East, you know, has on a Young Fly Righteous hat, you know what I'm saying? Who's another brand that has, like, just shown us, like, love, you know what I mean? Just by seeing, like, you know, the momentum and everything. So, like I say in the bars, you know, it's a movement, you know what I mean? And we moving and grooving to it. I love it. I love it.
And on top of that, like,
go ahead.
You know, putting your stamp on things, like the EP called The Fourth Quarter. I mean, in the fourth quarter of any basketball game, that's when the superstar is supposed to put their stamp.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go on N.O.W. I mean, we're watching the NBA Finals right now, so as y'all can see, Robyn has just been putting a stamp on everything.
And I had to pick up the slack for Philly. You know what I'm saying? The Sixers, I don't know what happened. I got out. I'm like, come on. I'm about to go put my Iversons on. Like, come on.
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right. We're going to switch gears a little bit here, because as we announced in the beginning, you're not all just music. You are also an actress, and you are cast on the show The Chi season 4, and your character you play is Dre. So
know that.
Yes. So tell us how you've been able to transition into TV and how you're doing balancing music and television.
Yeah. So I started doing television and film actually before I went into graduate school. You know, I only had like a couple of, you know, opportunities. I was on like an episode of Law and Order, and then another episode of a show called Conviction. And I knew I wanted more specificity in terms of my work, and I wanted to be able to do a lot of different things. So I didn't want to just be able to do TV and film, but I wanted to be able to do Shakespeare really well, and Ibsen really well, and Chekhov really well, and, you know, all this other stuff as well. Because, you know, as a Black person in America, like, You know what I mean? Multiple talents, equal multiple streams. We have to, you know, have our hands in a lot of things, you know?
Absolutely.
We the new Jamaicans, you feel me? So you got to respect the hustle, you know? And so with that being said, I'm a Libra. I need balance. I have to control the chaos, you know what I mean? And so with that, it's like, I kind of need to have my hands, like I said earlier, in multiple things. Mm-hmm. And so it's just been a beautiful sort of relationship because I write my own material. So whenever it comes to me, I'm just able to jot it down. I'm not waiting for somebody to provide me with bars and then I got to learn how to spit them and, you know, so on and so forth. It's all coming from me. Yeah. Our company, Truth Teller Productions, you know, it's the motto. It's being honest, modern day storytellers, modern day griots, you know. So I like that it's working in tandem and it's finding a way like for me to be on the Shy, and then we have our music that's being featured, you know, on the show. And it's crazy. And I was introduced in season 3 of the Shy. That's because this is their 4th season total, but the first 2 seasons I was not in. Mm-hmm. So I was introduced in the 3rd season, got kind of thrown in there. Thought it was only going to be a few episodes. You know what I mean? Your girl came back for 4. You feel me?
You had to put it on them.
Had to put it on them. So it's just really been a blessing, you know, just in terms of seeing my character develop, you know, on the show and everything. And, you know, here we are, season 4. I love playing the character of Dre. I like the fact that I haven't seen this particular type of character be played on television. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, after like graduate school, working in the theater and being in New York, you know, and not making very much money, it's like, all right, something got to give, you know?
Yeah.
So I was just trying my hand more and more with TV and film. And then I moved out to LA a couple years later. And then within me being here for like a year, I ended up, like a year and some change, I ended up booking the Shy. And, you know, here we are 2 seasons in.
We are.
You know? So, yeah.
All right. Hey, bro, I know you dabble into acting, you know, in school and things like that. So is that something still in the back of your mind, or are you full blown every day?
Every day. It's do hustle grind, you know? So I'm looking forward to really getting my face on TV and film, breaking into that.
Oh, it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming. Y'all wait. Y'all wait. Y'all wait. And y'all gonna be like, oh shit, that was the bull. Yeah, that was him. That was him.
I'm cool with you. Yes. And you know, these lyrics and this songwriting, like it's great. I mean, I love it. You know, if I didn't love it, I wouldn't be doing it. Definitely, I plan to be both, not just the music, but my face and acting on it as well.
That's right. Definitely. Yeah, and I think, you know, shit, he's like, I just finished a self-tape. Like, you know, this is what we do. Yeah. You know, as artists, we create and different things happen at different times. You know what I mean? I always got my guy in my prayers because I know that it's going to hit. And when it does hit, it's going to be sweet. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then he's already with me a little bit, like kind of riding the wave. But when it comes full blown, you know, even for him, where it's, you know, like he said, dual hustle grind, where we're really, you know, being able to literally leave set and go to the studio. Like, it's the dream, yo. Yes. It's the dream, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's coming, but he's already, you know what I'm saying, reaping the benefits and everything because he has been hustling. He has been working hard. You know, he's been holding me down. So, you know, I'm going to totally reciprocate that, you know what I mean? And make sure he's good.
For sure. All right. Well, it seems like we talked about everything. We talked about the acting. We talked about the music. We talked about the independent movement. So how do you guys see your independent movement moving forward now? How have you been receiving, you know, for the support and things like that? How's your support system around this? And where do you see yourselves going from here until the future?
Yeah, East.
I mean, unstoppable. I feel like sky's the limit. We have no ceiling, no plateau that was placed on the music because we never came into the music with any plateau or ceiling in the first place. We came with like love and like curiosity, and you know, from that collaborative theater background of like, all right, let's just fail. You know, let's just see what happens. Let's just build some shit. You know, it's And thankfully, the things that we've been able to build, we may build some pretty amazing pyramids.
Definitely.
So I only foresee us building more monuments that are, even greater and grander than the ones that we built before, because all we do is pour love and intention and craft and purity into every single thing that we do. And we don't, they say, only look back when I'm bracing my fall. Like, we don't look back, we don't go back. Like, it's always moving forward. So
yes, indeed.
Off the ego, I was like, how do I make it better? I need the sound to be bigger. And then off of fourth quarter, we working on an album. Like, album was coming soon, and like, you best believe that shit is gonna be huge and massive and amazing. So
definitely.
Yeah, he hit right on it. We've already started having conversations about the next project. That's how we do it. We spit it out and have another baby. You know what I mean? Just like, let's go. So
back to back.
Yeah, we get back in the lab. We got stair steps out this piece. You know what I mean? So, like he said, we headed to the Grammy Awards, for real. When we get off of this call with you, that's where we going.
Grammy Awards.
Right.
Yeah. I'm gonna be right there supporting.
That's right. Oh, you already know. But yeah, for us individually and collectively, I just see success because we have already decided that that's what we want for each other. That's what we want for ourselves. And so we're going to push ourselves to the limit. We're going to go, above and beyond to make sure that we get it done. We're learning a lot, as we go. Yeah. So it's not like, oh, we got all the answers and, this is what it is. But at the same time, like you said, we're not afraid to fail. And us being actors, we have an ensemble mentality where we're going to pass the ball and receive it and, go back and forth. And it's like, oh, well, can you do this? All right, well, I'll handle this. And can you and then he's just always down. It's like when I need him, hey, listen, can you come here? Can you be here? I need, he's ready to go, so that's what you want in your camp. And our camp is very small. There ain't nobody putting up tents, where we at, so yeah.
All right. Well, I thank you so much, you guys, for joining me here on the podcast. Before you get out of here, if you guys have any personal shout outs you want to do, and of course, tell us your social media handles, even though they're going to be all over the video, all in the description, we going to do it for the audio podcast people. Tell them where they could follow you guys and where they can stream that new EP.
Most def. EP, East-O, you can start off.
Yeah, follow me on IG at Chris Herbie Holland. You can follow me on Facebook as well. Chris Herbie Holland is, regular stage name. And the EP, the fourth quarter, is available everywhere. Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, Google Play. Is Napster still a thing? Is it on Napster?
Yeah, last time I checked, it was still a thing. But yeah, it's streaming everywhere. It's available everywhere. So go stream that thing. Feel free to purchase it. Show the kids some love. And go grab the fourth quarter. That's the fourth EP. More to come from True Teller Productions. And definitely make sure to tune into the shop.
Yeah.
On Sunday nights and everything. So listen, my shout outs, it goes all out to the people. Just appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank you so much, D Holla, for having us, and me and your bro, we're going to keep making magic for show.
For show. I appreciate you guys for joining me here again on the Grown Up Podcast. Of course, I'll be supporting you guys always on social media, in person, forever. It's all love. And that's it. That's the Grown Up Podcast, you guys. It's naturally on a wave. It's Robynhood and East-O in the building. And we go.
East-O. Yeah. I'm back on my back on my groove. This shit make you wanna move. Yeah. I'm back on my groove. This shit make you wanna hit East on the line. He show improve.
Fantasize, selling out the arenas. Now I'm Timberland.
Busy demeanor.
Now we serving all the smoke like subpoenas, killing all the codes, Martins and
I'm
Genius.
at the right place. Yeah, at the right time. And I don't covet, baby. No, I go for mine. We moving. This is a movement. We show improvement. No losing. My drive on cruising. Sober, no boozing. Switch it up. KIM, never stuck. Good right here. No sitting ducks. Middle twins. I get to back on my groove. This shit make you wanna move. Yeah, I'm back on my groove. This shit make you wanna hit east on the line. He sure improve.